Alright, what's good guys? IG Squad here, and welcome back to the 2023 IG Squad Summer Vlogs. We are now on to week 13, which is the first of the final 4 weeks. So, we got some fun stuff coming up. I'm hyped for these final 4 weeks, even though we are coming to an end slowly, but also quickly. Anyways, we got some good stuff coming up this week, so let's go and get into it. Alright, so this vlog is being started a day later than it should be. Partly because there was a bit of a camera change last second. So, I was initially going to record in the Galaxy S7, but now I am actually recording on my now finally bypassed Samsung Galaxy S8 this week. Yes, I have officially bypassed my Galaxy S8, so I can actually use it. I'm hyped about that. I am really liking this phone so far. It's really fun to use. I love the S8 design. I've always really liked it, so, well, maybe not always, but for a while I have really liked it. So, yeah, super excited to use this. This front camera is pretty good. 8 megapixel front-facing camera. So far I enjoy it. I think it's the same as the S9, which I have already vlogged on, but still looks pretty good for 2017. Anyways, we got some good stuff coming up this week. So these, today, the next 3 days are really just kind of get stuff done days. Just gotta edit last week's vlog and keep editing the July phone diving adventures because that goes up next week. And then Friday we get into some fun stuff. So I have to go get my car serviced, which is the dealership that we get it serviced at is about half an hour away. So we have to deal with that. Somebody's scratching at the door. Let's go see about that. Well, hello. This is just an everyday thing. Me. Claiming is hers. Anyways, as I was saying, on Friday, I have to go get my car serviced. The dealership we get it serviced at is about half an hour away, so we're gonna do that. And then there's also the final part to this month's phone diving adventures is the target bin that's out there, so we're gonna check that. And also, that same day, we're going to a Pirates game, so that should be fun. Add a little bit extra to this vlog. So, yeah, that's what we got coming up. So, let's go and get into this week's vlog. So, I've been bypassing phones a lot today. So, I got my, this Galaxy S8 that I'm recording on done yesterday. Along with that yesterday, where is it? Right here. I also got my Galaxy J7 Star done as well. This thing is also working perfectly fine. So, hyped about that. And then this morning, I also got my Moto E2 bypassed as well. So that's all good to go. There's not much I'm going to be able to do with this because it's a 4 gig phone on Android 5.1. So, not that great, but I have a, different older Moto phone. So, that's kind of cool. And then I also, this isn't actually a Google issue, but it is more or less, where did I put it? I have so many phones on my bed right now, I have no idea where everything is. Might not be on the bed. Where is it? I don't know, but I also Odin flashed and successfully Odin flashed my T-Mobile Note 4. So that is also working. I couldn't tell you where it is right now, but it is working. So, right in front of my face. There you go. Boom. So all are working. So that's pretty sweet. I got 4 new phones that are working now. So yeah, but I'm probably gonna head over to the university bin in a little bit. just kind of get out because it's supposed to get really, really hot here in Pittsburgh over the next couple days. So this is going to be the last nice, like super nice day for a while. Let's actually, hey Siri, what's the temperature at right now?
It's about 77 degrees outside.
It says high of 81, so yeah, it's going to get hot. It's going to get up to like 95 on Friday, which is the day we're going to the Pirates game. So that's a little bit of poor timing, but you know what? I bought the tickets like 2-3 weeks ago, so not much I can do about that. So, yeah. But let's go see what we can't find at the university bin. All right, I got 4 new phones, so I'm not that bad if I don't get anything. All right, so it's the next day. It is crunch time to get the week 12 vlog done. I didn't do much of it yesterday. I was playing probably a little too much Madden. Yeah, I know. But anyways, we have that. But in a little bit, I actually got yes, it stands up very well. In a little bit, we're actually heading over to go pick up my new glasses. So you guys will see a change from me getting rid of the clear frames. I am not gonna have clear fronts anymore. It's gonna be a completely different look for me. So I've had this look in the past, but not for a couple years, not for almost 5 years. So we'll have to, you guys will have to wait and see. So yeah, a change is coming, and let's go take a look at what I did. iOS 16.6 is out, along with iOS 15.7.8. So that means we got a stack of iPhones to update. Yep, this is how I do it. Ugh. Gotta love it. So that's another busy part of the day. Alright, so I officially got my new glasses. Are you guys ready to see them? In 3, 2, 1... Definitely a bit of a change, but honestly, I really like them. I think they look good. Going away from the clear frames and going back to these sort of smoked out. I actually really like them. I'm into them. So, what do you guys think? Did I make the right choice? All right, so it's the next day. Did I get last week's vlog done? Absolutely not. Of course not. Of course. Played a lot of Forza yesterday, so that was real smart on my part, but I also am updating apps in my collection. I'm updating these phones. That takes up time, so that's fun. But yeah, it's just another get shit done day. And it is super hot, or it's going to be super hot here today. I think it's supposed to get up to like 94 degrees, which is hot. So, got to keep the AC on pretty much all day, which, you know, not ideal, but it's what you got to do. So, yeah, that's really what's happening today. I should try to vlog a little bit more than I did every day. But we will be going to that new Target bin tomorrow. That'll be on Phone Having Adventures, so yeah, and then I can finally finish off that video and get it up for next week, so yeah. But I gotta edit this vlog and update these phones, so I'm gonna do that. Alright, so it's pretty late Thursday. I actually surprisingly did get the vlog up today. It's only 1 day late. I'm gonna try to make it 0 days late next week. I'm actually gonna start editing ahead of time, even though next week I have that, and I also have a Phone Having Adventures to get up, so that's cool. But at least we're filming that final part tomorrow, so hopefully we can find some decent stuff, or at least something decent at that new Target, because I've never been there. It's been there for years. It's been there. I've been out there multiple times, but I've never tried that bin. So yeah, it's not like this is a new Target or anything, so we'll see what happens. I'm curious. All right, so it's the next day. We are heading out to go get my car serviced pretty soon, and of course we're going to stop at that Target on the way. I have my phone bag ready to go, and it is 8:55 in the morning, which isn't actually too bad, but I've been up since 7:15, so Yeah, I'm gonna be a little tired later, but you know, I gotta get used to this because I do have to get up earlier than I have been this summer for class in like 4 weeks. So, yeah. But, anyways, let's go see what we can find. Alright, so we are about to head out to the Pirates game against the Phillies. I'm hyped for this. Yep, I got the shirt. It's pretty hot out. What's the temperature right now?
The temperature in Pittsburgh right now is 89 degrees. Due to the current humidity, it feels like it's 97.
Oh. 97 is what it feels like. Well, that wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but Pirates lost 2-1. Of course. I don't know what I expected. Alright, so it's the next day. We've really just been kind of hanging out today. It's just about 12:30, so not too bad. But I did say in last week's vlog I was going to do an owner's review of my new laptop in this vlog. So, let's do it. Alright, so let's talk about my 1 week experience with using the ASUS ROG Flow X13 as my main laptop. And I'll just go and get straight to the point. I love this thing. It is definitely a change going from Mac to Windows. I can say that with doing it the opposite way, because before I switched to Mac back in 2017, I was using a pretty low-end PC. And now in 2023, switching from a Mac back to PC is, again, a change. But it's actually been pretty decent. So there's a lot of things that I really like about the laptop. There's very few things, honestly, that I don't like. So we're gonna spend some time talking about what I really like about this laptop. First off, I love the form factor that a 2-in-1 gives you. I've never had the most of a touchscreen computer I've ever had is an iPad, and that only is a computer to a certain extent. And having this basically, be a computer, be a laptop tablet hybrid where I can even, obviously put it on my desk setup and dock it. It is really nice to have all those options into one, and I love having the touchscreen. I really think that a touchscreen just makes sense for basically any Windows laptop. Maybe with the exception of like 17-inch laptops, because that just doesn't seem very practical to hold in your hand as a tablet. But anyways, in this 13-inch form factor, it may seem weird to go from a pretty big 15-inch MacBook Pro down to a 13-inch ASUS PC, but honestly, I actually really like the change of it being small, and I'm not really sacrificing on performance actually, because it's 9 years newer than my MacBook Pro. It's obviously a huge jump in performance. This thing, in terms of performance, has been super, super solid. So, I don't know, I can't remember how much of a spec line I gave you guys when I first unboxed the computer last week, but I will give it to you again. So, it has a AMD Ryzen 9 6900HS, which that honestly, I was more leaning towards that the entire time than going Intel. Intel chips, they're not bad, but Ryzen has proven to be so good that I just really wanted to see what it was like. And so far, it has been awesome. And there's a lot of useful software between AMD, NVIDIA, and ASUS. And speaking of NVIDIA, this has a RTX 3050 Ti GPU. Not the highest end GPU you can get, and not the newest either. The 4000 series is out, but the 3050 Ti in a laptop this small, to have that level of performance even, is actually pretty impressive. The Galaxy S8 does not like to focus. Anyways, yeah, overall, I just like the kind of blend of performance that you get out of this computer in such a small package. It's really awesome. And for a 13-inch laptop, you actually get a pretty decent port selection. Now, you only have one full-size USB port, but for me, that's actually just enough considering that I have two USB Type-C ports, and USB Type-C has actually been really, really solid for me. I use a lot of USB Type-C devices. I don't have a full USB Type-C life, but my Galaxy S10 Plus, which is my main Android phone of choice right now, uses USB-C. My earbuds, which are the Beats Studio buds, use USB-C to charge the case. And this uses USB-C to charge. The only things that I use in my daily life that don't use USB-C are my iPhone and my Apple Watch. That's literally it. Everything else I've been using is USB-C, and it has worked so well. And this thing, it does have a fast charger. It's a 100-watt charger. It's decently fast. I haven't actually used this on battery power enough to kill it. I've got it down to around 12%, I think. And it's charged reasonably fast, but kind of hard to do a full battery test when I'm using it all day. Now, speaking of battery life, it's good, but it's kind of confusing in a way. So, ASUS has a lot of options inside of their Armory Crate app. Because this is an ROG laptop, you have a lot of customization options. So inside of the Armory Crate app, you have a bunch of different modes that you can, tailor to how you want to use a computer. So you have the performance mode, which obviously has the GPU on. You can use for gaming, and honestly, there's a hotkey. There is just a simple hotkey on the keyboard that allows you to open it, and you have a bunch of different modes. You have standard mode, which honestly I've been able to run in it and use all my gaming and my creative apps in this basically no problem. It's been really, really solid for me. And the GPU, there's a couple different modes. So you can do performance mode. You also have a turbo mode, which I haven't tested because the performance mode has worked perfectly fine for me. And also for that CPU, you have a ultimate mode, which again, I haven't really needed to use. But if you need a little bit of extra performance, if you're playing like a super high-end game, then you can use that. But as you might be able to hear, the fans in this thing already spin up pretty loud. Well, not that loud. It's definitely quieter than my MacBook Pro, but they're spinning up loud even when I'm inside of the Armory Crate app, which honestly is fine. They're still pretty quiet, and when I have background noise or when I'm using headphones, I don't really hear it, so it's not a big deal. But so far, from what I've noticed, keeping it on performance mode and having the GPU on basically all the time, the battery life so far isn't that great, especially when I'm gaming. I mean, when you're gaming or using creative apps on battery power, which typically, in my experience, I don't do that often. I typically am on a power source whenever I am editing or gaming. And so, but when I was playing The Sims 4, I was able to get like roughly an hour just on the performance mode, which obviously isn't that great. But if you turn it onto eco mode and just turn off the GPU entirely and either use it in tablet mode or use it just in the silent mode or Windows mode, and you're just doing basic tasks like editing documents or light web browsing with like maybe 7 or 8 tabs open at a time, it is dead silent and the battery life is pretty good. I was using it for probably about an hour, and I only got it down to I think around 83% battery from full battery, which is pretty decent. So far the battery life, it's a mixed bag of what you're doing, but typically for my use cases, whenever I'm doing that high-end stuff, keep it on a charger. It's just what I've always done, especially since I used a MacBook Pro that had such terrible battery life for pretty much anything. I kind of got used to that. Now let's talk about game performance. Now, I sort of hinted to what I was doing in that last clip, but game performance on this in the performance mode and standard on the CPU is really, really good. So the games I've been playing, I haven't played a ton, but the 3 main games I've been playing while testing it this week are The Sims 4, Madden 23, and Forza Horizon 4, and it has crushed it. The only real time I've really noticed drop frames, which is few and far in between, is some of the higher end stuff in Madden 23, but it's really far and few in between when it's dropping frames. It is doing really, really well. Yes, it is spinning up those fans and using the GPU to almost its full extent, but you kind of expect it to do that when you're in these high-end applications, and it's doing really, really well in general. So super impressed with the game performance, and obviously, like I said, I keep it on a charger pretty much all the time when I'm gaming, and it has not, gotten too hot to the point where I'm like, oh, I need to stop and let it cool down. It has not done that. It's never given me an overheating warning, so that's good to see. So yeah, it's been pretty nice. Now, performance in creative apps has also been really, really good. Now, besides having to get used to all the new hotkeys, changing over from Mac to PC, that's honestly been the most stressful adaptation, is trying to learn all the hotkeys on Windows. It's not a huge difference, but in apps like Adobe Premiere Pro, you're shifting over from command to control. Simple stuff like that, it's just a little bit to get used to, and for me, I've hit the wrong button many, many times, but so far, performance in these apps has been really solid. So the main creative apps I've been using are Adobe Premiere Pro, Adobe Photoshop, and Adobe Lightroom Classic. Now, I don't use the newer Lightroom. I've always used Lightroom Classic, and I like it. But so far, performance in these apps has been really, really solid. The only real weird thing I've noticed is inside of Adobe Lightroom Classic, I can't figure out how to do it's in a full screen mode, but it's like super zoomed in, and I can't figure out how to change the window size. So if any of you know how to do that, let me know, because I have no idea what I'm doing. It's been just been really weird, but that's really the only main thing I've noticed in terms of issues in these creative apps. They've been really, really solid, and export times inside of Premiere Pro have been really solid. I remember, I think it was my week 11 vlog. It was 42 and a half minutes long, almost 42 and a half minutes long, and I was exporting it, and I was able to export that video. It was 1080p, but 42 minutes export time on my MacBook Pro, even if it was 1080p, would probably be at least 45 minutes. This was able to do it in 8.5 minutes. That is a massive difference. And the other day, I exported the week 12 vlog, which was in 4K. That was around 28 minutes or so. My MacBook Pro would probably take an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to do that. This was able to do it in under half an hour. So this thing is really, really solid in terms of just speeding up the creative workflow of what I need to do. And it has been really, really solid for stuff like that. So love it for the creative side of things. Now, there have been very few things that I don't like, but there have been some things. So the one thing is, why are there so many updates when you get it out of the box? Yes, I know I'm probably like spoiled as someone who has used a Mac for 6 years, not having to deal with that every 5 seconds, but man, that is annoying. I get having to update to, a new service pack of Windows or whatever, but it is literally feels like you're updating the entire computer from start to finish. It is obnoxious, and it's not just through Windows updates, it's through ASUS features, it's through NVIDIA, it's through AMD, it's kind of everything. So it's a lot to really get used to. I haven't had it restart for a Windows update just like right in my face while I'm doing something, so that's at least good. Although it has randomly restarted, I think, twice inside of Adobe Premiere Pro when I'm editing, and it wasn't even updating. Not really sure what that's about. I haven't had it happen since then, but I don't really know. That's a little weird. And also, another weird thing I've noticed is when I'm trying to just use the single display, my Dell 23-inch monitor here, and I close my laptop, it takes it a minute to really adjust to the aspect ratio, like a lot slower than my MacBook Pro. It's like, the taskbar will be like super zoomed in. The rest of the display really won't be, but it's like really zoomed in to the point where you can't even see the side of the bottom bar here. Like the clock and the date and time is just like completely cut off. Not really sure why. Usually when you like kind of frantically click it a couple times, it usually figures it out pretty quickly. But if you just let it go on its own, it's gonna take a while. So it's kind of strange. But overall, this thing has been sick to use as my main computer over the past week. I really like it. I'm going to continue to use this thing for a while. I really, really like it. It's absolutely awesome. I am actually pretty happy about switching to PC, even as being a Mac user for a long time. I really like it. So besides shooting the owner's review all morning, this is what I've been doing with my iPhones. Can you look? That finger's not registered. Okay. Well, as you can see on my home screen, I have retro iOS icons. Yep. And it's not just on this rose gold iPhone 6s. Pick up my space gray one here. There you go. Pick up my iPhone 13. There you go. Pick up my iPhone 10R. There you go. Yep. And I still have to do all these. Not that one, because that's on iOS 13. Anyways, but it's working pretty well. Alright, so it's now Monday. I didn't vlog anything yesterday. But this is going to be the end of this vlog because I have to get this I have to start working on this along with a phone diving adventures and a ton of photos. So, and I gotta get next week's vlog started, so it's gonna be a busy week for me. But that is it for me. That is gonna wrap it up for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Smash the thumbs button, hit that subscribe button down below, follow me on all my socials, you guys know what to do. Simple enough, and yeah, I'll go and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.